Oh, there we go. My volume wasn't turned up correctly. Okay. All right. Welcome to week 3 of our Ruby accountability. I am pumped, you guys. There is so much happening now, and what's going to happen in the next as we move into the next 90 days into the last quarter of the year, launching into Leaders Retreat. So don't forget a couple things. Next day pay, huge, huge, huge. Be talking about that with your people. Another thing is the leadership retreat, Rising Leaders Retreat contest kicks off September 1st. However, they're adding extra bonuses, obvious, or extra credits for earning icon early, which we all know about. And then the thing that just came out last week, I think it was, is the add 3, add 6. So make sure you're hitting at least the bare minimum threshold of that so that you can be front loading your Leaders Retreat credits. Now, will Leaders Retreat be easy to earn? It's just like every year, we have to be bringing in new. We have to be bringing in new people and then working on developing people. And if you're banking on your current team, your current existing team to grow your business, you're gonna plateau. You're gonna get whatever. You're probably busy, but you're going to be disappointed because new growth always brings momentum, and that's what we need. And so contests like this spur us into action mode, into the new and the few, bringing in the new, working with the few to continue to have growth. So anyways, have your eyeballs on recruitment this month, because, well, for multiple reasons, but like Leaders Retreat contest is like that extra oomph to keep us doing the things, keep us in the game, so to speak. Okay, we had an amazing event last week. I actually have some debrief things that I wanted to tell you about, but I want to do an audit first, and I'm listening to a recorded conversation between a couple of powerhouse girls, Brittany Howard, who is the great question asker, and then Marianne Anderson and Amber Miller, two really, really amazing Star Diamond brand ambassadors in Plexus, and I really value their insight, their perspective. But what I'd like you guys to go do while we're talking and stuff, go and audit. If you haven't done the audit yet, since August 1st, go audit yourself on social media, posts, and categorize them like we normally do. So you can keep listening, but go take a little tally. If you already have yours, pop it in the chat, because getting better at social media is a key piece of what we do. And consistency compounds, and consistency builds credibility in that area. So for whoever needs to hear Angie's little one line about turning up the volume social media wise, just do it. Like, don't attach any emotion, don't attach any meaning. You have to just get over the 2 or 3 people you're worried about that are going to see your posts over and over. You got to look past those people because they're not your ideal customer. That's not who you're preaching to. That's not who you're marketing to, you know? And I think we all have those people in our life who are like, oh, they're seeing my posts again. They're probably so sick of me saying that. That's just a wrong mindset to be in. So go do your social media audit and be counting up your posts, personal posts, and then the Plexus ones. Business, product, call to comment. You can also include, like, if you do consistently do reels or lives, those are great things to add in. Okay. I also want you to do an audit, and this is what Amber was just talking about. She said she audits her energy every single day. And if she's not at a 4 or a 5, and this must be from 0 to 5, I guess is the, and guess is her little meter. If she's not at a 4 or a 5, like if she's at a 3, or in her brain, she's asking, how do I get my energy up? Because when she's at a 4 or a 5, then she's in go mode. She's in like momentum creating. So if you're brave, if you're willing to be brave and vulnerable, pop your current energy surrounding your business in the chat. And I think as leaders, it's actually really important for us to be taking inventory. It's a personal practice and habit of mine that I've had for, well, probably since I started Plexus, but it's really important to be reflective about how you feel like our things are going. And I thought it was really, really good that, we have the opportunity to have a 10,000-foot view. And when you take a step back and actually look at your business as a whole, right? Not just one aspect of it, but look at it as a whole and just take an audit of it. How is it doing? What do you feel like are the weak spots? What do you feel like need to be areas that you need to boost up? The biggest thing that will impede your ability to see things clearly would be if you are dwelling in shame or imposter syndrome in regards to your business. And so whatever you have to do to get out of that, or, maybe your points aren't where you want them to be, or maybe been trying to rank up to the same rank for 3 months or 3 years or whatever it is. Um, the reality is so much of this business is actually unattached to you. I look back over the course of the past 10 years and I look at my original, build to diamond, and I look at my reentry account and I'm like, what's different? What's different? Why did it take me longer? What were the determining factors? Why did all of those multi-level one golds that I had planted in my first year all fizzle? And then I was shot up to senior Ruby thinking within a year or two, whatever it was, that it would have be a shoe in for Emerald. And the reality was all those people quit, and a ton of their people quit too. And then I had to go, I was ping ponging from senior Ruby back down to senior gold. And like that business has been more volatile. It's way more stable now. But in the first year or two, like it was crazy. It was super crazy. But what was different? Was I different? Were there factors, in evaluating that, I would say I was only better than I was when I was originally building my original account, right? And so let it encourage you that not everything depends on you in your business, because we're building this business with people, and people will sometimes flake. Um, I had a level one gold that I was working with to build the emerald leave. Last was it That's not this past weekend, but the weekend before. And I've worked with her extensively. And when you're working with someone to help them build a business, like you're investing time, energy, brain space, ideas, coaching, all the things. And so there's plenty of things that we cannot control, but the things we can control are our mind, our energy, and our belief. And so if, just like we talked about last week, if you're at my house, we talked about like how important it is to have eyeballs on where your belief is in the area, the four key areas in network marketing. So belief in the products, belief in the compensation plan, belief in network marketing, and then belief in yourself, which I know we've chatted about all those areas before. But really, one key to momentum is managing your energy, belief, and thoughts, because we have control over those things. So, all right, how are we doing on our audits? So rate yourself with your energy currently. Oh, yay. Brandy and Brooke and Amber all chimed in. Who else is in here? Who else feels brave to share their audits? Also, can someone pop in that Ruby chat and tag the people that are not on this call yet? Or send them a private message if you see them not on. Okay, good, good, good. All right, energy is high. That's a good thing. Okay, so make it a practice, and also as you're chatting with people on your team, work with them on auditing their social media, because you could go send them all the tips and go look at their social media and tell them, oh, you need to do this and this and this and this. But if you send them to go do their own audit, they'll come back to you and they'll be like, oh, I know what I need to work on. It's kind of the difference between telling people what they need to do versus them seeing it. They don't need you telling them. They actually, through questions that you ask or having them go like do an audit, they'll be able to see, oh, I know what I need to work on. Because everyone thinks they're doing more than they're actually doing. I thought this was interesting. So I think, oh, Brittany asked Amber, what do you do if your energy meter is a little less than stellar? So if you didn't answer a 5 and you're feeling embarrassed about even saying that, there's a couple of things to take a peek at. Number one, your morning routine. So, are you sleeping in? Are you kind of feeling, well, just take a morning routine audit. Look at your business and your life, not just your business, and your life, and figure out where's the drain. Are you volunteering for a bunch of things that you feel obligated to do? Are you, where's your time going? So where's the drain? Also, I thought this was interesting. Cycle syncing, syncing. I think that's how you say it. Like sync, like really important tasks with your cycle. So all of us are women on here, so I mean, maybe some of us are not getting cycles anymore, but if you are, there is a thing because there's a cyclical nature in our bodies, you can actually put your highest, most important activities in the middle of the month. There's some cool science around that. And I've heard of this actually for a lot of years, like put your interviews and the things that are requiring the most energy, you being your best self, mid-cycle. Your skin, like everything is like on point, way more, top energy versus right before you get your period or the week of your period. So just keep those and things in mind also, and don't make any crazy business decisions in those harder seasons in your cycle. So, and then also Amber just said, look at your life and just see if there's areas of laziness. So I have been convicted even in my home, like areas where it's like, I don't want to do that. But it's laziness, it's laziness. All right. Oh, I thought this was a really good tip. This is like side tangent, but Amber said, and I'm going to totally do this. Amber said that she has a Canva visual. So like make a Canva graphic of the leaders on your team so that you have a picture of their face. So that you have a picture of their face, and then you can individually think through each of those people, which I think we probably all do this, but maybe not from a visual standpoint. So if this resonates with you, it does with me. So I have, instead of like a list of names or whatever that I usually work off, make a Canva graphic of the leaders on your team with their pictures. And then she said, if the numbers don't look good, you know, people's, different individuals on your team, or even if they do, or whatever is going on, she's like, use that to trigger you to go invest and pour in belief in those people. She's like, maybe it's a voice message, maybe it's a quick FaceTime, maybe it's a just a little note of encouragement or whatever that looks like. So I thought that was a really good side tip. Okay, not Brooke, Brandy is on here. And she was going to share a couple of top takeaways because we had Jennifer Thomas that came in last week to our house to do a Plexus event. We really did have a great turnout. I was slightly disappointed because there was a lot of new people in the area that just started their businesses or have in the past year and haven't gone to convention yet. And my idea was, let's do a follow-up to convention. Anyone that wasn't able to be there, we'll just get them in the room and inspire them and encourage them. There were so many people that it was their first day back to school with their kids. And it was just like a crazy week, crazy day or whatever. And so the people that were meant to be there were there. And I just had to keep that in mind. But I thought it would be good for you guys to hear versus me hashing through the notes. Who else? Let's see. Brooke, if you have your notes, Gretchen, Lisa, you local girls, if you want to pull some of your notes and chime in too after Brandy's done, that would be really good because I think there were some really, really amazing takeaways. I had some good takeaways too, so I want to hear from you.
Okay. My energy for the business has been a 5. Today I'm like at a 2. So bear with me. We are like in the thick of it. Okay. So we're actually getting ready to go to a soccer practice. So I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible, but meaningful. So I'm just going to say this because I love corporate. I really do. But what we got from Justin and Megan was pure gold. Like, hold on, someone's calling me. Let me get rid of that. So most of my notes were actually from them. And what I found interesting was I don't know what Jennifer had planned for that day, but I personally felt like she felt that energy from Justin and Megan and just went with it and like was like, this is what we need to work on. This is what we need to hear. And she just kept like stacking on top of that. So what we talked about literally was not just about the business, but life in general. And I've been in a very crazy, like am I good at homeschooling? Am I failing my kids? Like all these things, you know, that you go through thought wise. And I feel like this not only helped me in my business, but also in my homeschooling life, etc. So the very first question, I don't remember if Justin asked this or if Megan asked this, but what is it that I really want? And how can Plexus help with that? Because a lot of times I think that I get in my head of like, well, this is what I want in Plexus, and this is what I want from Plexus, and this is what rank I want, and blah, 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 blah. When really, if you would change that to like, okay, what is it that I really want in life in general, and how can Plexus get me there? It totally changes the tone, in my opinion. For me, it did. And then also, like, these are things that we've heard several times, but I'm just going to re-say them, is like having that clarity. And I feel like this is not, once again, not just in Plexus, but have clarity in everything that you do. Like, why are you making the choices? Okay, so for those of us who are in like the nutritional program, right, we're trying to do better nutrition, things like that. Have clarity and where you want to go. You can't just like, I don't, excuse me, but you can't just free ball it. You know, you can't just be like, okay, like I'm going to do whatever I want and hope that I change. Like you have to be clear and precise and like what you want. And it's the same thing in this business. Like you have to have clarity in not only what you want, but how you're going to get there. And I love the repeating of that, like being clear when you're setting your goals. Once you hit that goal, set a new one. I think it is so fantastic when you have two diamonds sitting in front of you, knowing that they're still setting goals. Because in our minds, like hitting diamond, oh my gosh, that's the goal. Like, okay, we're done. You know, we hit it. And hearing from them, knowing like, okay, we still have to set goals, because you can't just hit diamond and be like, okay, bye. Like I did what I wanted. Like you have a diamond team under you. You have to set goals for them. And I think that is, first of all, humbling, and second of all, just a huge testament to who our leaders are. um and then this one smacked me in the gut for some reason: be a professional network marketer. Do you know how many times I still tell people that I am a musician, I'm a band director, I'm like all these things that I'm not anymore? I'm a professional network marketer. Like when you profess in something, it means that it's something that you study and put everything into. Like it, we're professional network marketers. I don't know why, but hearing that the other night was just kind of like, huh, maybe I should stop telling people I'm a band director, because it's been 10 years since I lifted a baton. Okay. I am not going to read all of these wonderful, I actually came up with 14. I think she only gave you 12, but this long list that Megan gave us from the book, go read the book, go read the book, The Power of One More, listen to the podcast. Like it is such gold. And I think that if the whole team is in the same mindset, we can take that momentum and go together. And I know, Megan, that's the whole reason why they've done like book studies in the past, is to get everybody in the same mindset and the same like momentum. So one thing that she said was be obsessed with your goals, laser focus, and fight through the doubts and fears. And actually, Jennifer piggybacked off of this. I don't know if she realized that, but she was talking about like when you are wanting to buy a new car, like let's say you want to buy a black SUV of some sort, like a black, I drive a Ford Expedition. So let's say that you start seeing those all over the place, because in your head, that's what you want. That's what you're looking for. And then all of a sudden, everyone drives a black Expedition. Ask me how I know, right? So that also goes with the podcast. He said something, this has been a couple weeks ago. He said something about, we shouldn't be desperate. We shouldn't have desperation. And he's like, that's a lie. We need to be so desperate for what we want that we do anything that it takes to get there. Like he used some pretty rough analogies, but like if your child was in an accident and you had to leave this meeting to go there, you wouldn't say like, hey, do you mind, like, is it all right if I like step outside? No, like you would get up and be like, hey, I'm going. I have to leave. I have to get there right now. You know what I'm saying? So that to me was the be obsessed, like be obsessed with your goals, be desperate. Like it's okay. Having a little bit of desperation is okay. I learned that last month whenever I put out that random goal, and I was like, I'm going to start messaging everybody, like be desperate. It's okay to be a little bit desperate, because then if you're not, you're really just not, there's not as much passion behind it, I think. Don't be desperate and like doing icky things. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. Okay. Pray. I know that I've talked to a lot of you about how I struggled in the beginning to allow God into my business because I felt like I was praying for financial gain for myself and that was not nice. Like, I shouldn't do that. We shouldn't glorify ourselves. And then, like, a ton of bricks hit me at convention last year. Ange Lapp and I roomed together and we just started talking about things. And I think it was me saying things out loud that was like, oh my gosh, I need to be praying for this. Like, because this impacts more than just the Plexus world, right? If you bring non-believers into this group, do you think they're going to leave a little bit better? Like, that's my new mindset. If you bring someone into one team in general, not just my downline, but into one team in general, they're going to leave a better person because they're going to see the light of Christ. And I think we need to be praying for that. We need to be praying for bringing people into this community. I think just changing my prayers is what I need to do. But she was talking about being specific in your prayers and asking for divine guidance. Like, right? When she said that, I was like, yes, like, I can't do this alone anymore. I have to put my pride aside and ask for some help around here. So, another big click. And then she said also to do it messy, do it imperfectly, and bust through insecurities. Because a lot of us, even though I show up in my stories like I'm confident, I'm not. Like, I second guess it. I check to see who's watching it that might tear me down. Like, there's lots of insecurities in there. We have to show up and do it anyway, right? We have to still go ahead and make the messy post. Okay, on to Jennifer. Jennifer, like I said, I think she felt the vibe and she's like, we're going with this. Like, I don't know if this is even what she meant to talk about, but she totally just reaffirmed everything that Justin and Megan said. But something that we talked about was our morning routines. Like, be excited to get up in the morning. Wake up and be excited that you're alive. You know, like, my bed is behind me. I have the comfiest bed in the world. I love my bed. Getting out of it is really hard, but you have to be excited that you even woke up because some people don't get that, right? We have today. We can do what we want with today. And I'm going to wrap it up because I want someone else to talk too. But you are the most qualified person to help who you used to be. Mic drop, right? Like, I do not talk about who I used to be ever because I'm ashamed of her. I'm embarrassed about who I was. I hate telling people that this homeschool mom was homeschooling from a couch, from a chair, taking 2 naps a day. Like, I hate that, but I'm the most qualified person to help people with Lyme and people who are just chronically exhausted. I still struggle with it. I'm still seeing a functional medicine doctor dealing with all of these things. And I think that there's a part of me who thinks like, people will think that the products aren't working if I have nerve damage that can't be healed by anything, right? Like, they're going to think that I'm weak because I have these chronically exhausting days. Like, Plexus must not be working for her, you know? But instead, I could be like, no, my everyday life has drastically changed. It has changed my life. So we are our own business cards and we are the most qualified people to help. So that is my quick mic drop moments of Tuesday night. I thought it was amazing. I wish that more people could come. But I'm hoping that we can take this and utilize it in our teams.
I was not there, but I think somehow you have my notes because I'm not kidding you. So many of the things that you just said are in my notes. And I'm like, is she reading my notes right now? Am I talking and it's coming out of Brandy's mouth? I love everything that you just said because it literally, like, and I obviously wasn't there, but I love Ed Milet. I've been listening to his stuff. I'm going through the audio the second time. And it's one of the things that you didn't say that I had in my notes was that actions speak louder than words, but not very often. He quotes that from Mark Twain. And I'm like, oh my word, that is so very true. Like, all the things it just resonates in my mind so much. And the other thing that I love that he said is that when you're setting your goals, he's like, you have to know what you want and why. And I don't know if you guys are reading the book or listening, but when you listen it is so much more impactful because because it's him. You hear the passion. And when he said, I had to get healthy because I wanted to walk my daughter down the aisle, I wanted to make sure that I'm healthy, that I'm there for that. That is why I kid you not, I've told so many people this on my team this week because Megan has said this. People say this all the time in Plexus. Your why has to be big enough to make you cry. And I used to think that's kind of like dumb. Like, let's not even think about that. But when he said it, he didn't say it like that, but he's like, you have to know why. And that's enough to make you cry. Like he was sick and he had to get healthy because he wanted to be there for his daughter. That's the kind of why that will get you out of that comfy bed every single day, Brandy. It will get you up. You know exactly what it is. It's not just, I want to lose weight because I want to lose weight. It's because I have to be healthy for my kids, for my grandkids, for the next generation. Wow. Thank you for what you shared, Brandy. It was amazing.
Okay, girls, who else?
I do have to say, those are not my words. They're our leaders' words. I just relayed them.
Well, just encompassing them and paying attention. You know what I mean? Paying attention and grasping them for yourself, which I think is so amazing. So kudos to you, girl.
Brooke, Gretchen, let's see, Lisa. Who else had a takeaway that they wanted to pipe in from Tuesday? Anybody?
I can go.
Sure.
I didn't want to be looking at my notes while I was listening to Brandy. So yeah, but top takeaway I can give you top of mind because, you know, like she was saying, what do you want from Plexus and why, and getting very specific on goals made me realize I need to hone in on my goals a little more, get more clear, get more specific. For a long time, I've said, you know, I want to make this amount a month. And after we got done with the meeting, I went in the van in the dark, turned my light on, and started working on actually writing out a line by line budget of what do I want to cover with my Plexus payments? What products do I want my kids taking? Which kids need to take what products? What, you know, other products would I like to add in on a monthly basis that we're not, you know, taking now in my budget at home? What do I want to cover? You know, how much? And all of those things, knowing that I want to, you know, tie that, you know, 14%, 16%, depending what level I'm at. So how much above that do I need to be able to tithe to that level while covering all these things? Just honing in and getting really, really specific, kind of honing into that why a little more and sharpening up that goal. That was something that I took away and put into praxis right away. Megan, if you want, I can flip through my notes on here, but that one I still know just top of mind because I just felt so strongly about that. I had to go put it into action right away.
Oh, I love that. I think that when we make it so specific and tangible, it's like, it's so motivating. You know, it's just, I think we lack because we get on the hamster wheel, but we don't stop to rethink about what we're doing and why, and just getting that extra clarity. Because how much more, you know, motivated when you're showing up to do your Plexus work, I'm sure you feel this week with those really, really specific things, you know? So good. Brooke, or
yeah, and another thing.
Oh yeah, keep going.
Just to echo what Brandy said as well, about prayer. I don't have a hang up praying about my business because I feel like the Lord made me do it. So it's very, you know, natural, but how often do I actually do it? So I have been honing into praying more specifically, and just, you know, having heard you guys talk about what you prayed about, praying differently since the meeting, and praying that the Lord would bring people to mind and bring people to me. And raised report, I had a gal who contacted me out of the blue, and she's taken the pink drink before and done really well. And we are in conversation. And I was just saying, thank you, Lord. Thank you for reminding me to pray, to ask specifically, and thank you for answering with that. Just a little bit of encouragement there.
So good. So good. Brooke, were you going to unmute too? I forgot Lisa's not able to, but Laura, I think Laura just popped back on. So we're sharing takeaways from Tuesday.
Sorry, my
yes.
mute. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no worries. I had to jump off on a stupid work call. So ready for that to be over. Um, so takeaways from Tuesday. So it's always just that anybody can do this. It is all about, there's nothing new under the sun. I am just revisiting the exact same things or excuses that I feel like I have, and I just need to kind of get over it. So sorry, that doesn't sound very helpful, but other than the fact that any sort of awareness, I think, is a good thing. And in seasons, things change or they get better, or you realize, you know, you have different capacity, or you make time for different capacity. So
As long as it makes sense to you, that's all that matters.
yeah.
Brooke, you ready?
All right,
Brooke, are
yeah,
you-
I'm ready. Sorry, my mute button is not like it shows up and then it doesn't show up. Oh, mine's real quick, but it was mainly, and I don't remember. It might have been Justin who said it, that like your first thoughts in the morning command your entire day.
Mhm.
And I think that probably just stuck out to me mainly because that's the cycle that I've been in, is just like this bad thought cycles, and you know, just believing in myself and what my mindset is. So that was just the quick tidbit that I got, that I thought was really, really good. And I know that Jennifer, I don't have my notes in front of me. And I know that she said something else that has just stuck with me, but I really appreciated her coming and you guys doing that. It was great. But yeah, it's more of just like, okay, waking up in the morning and knowing, like, I feel like I have a good morning routine, but it's what's in my head.
Yeah. Well, and pre-deciding like what you
Mhm.
want to be thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah,
Yep.
first morning things definitely set the precedent, set the standard.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to give you guys a homework or a task, not even a homework, a task right now. I want you to take out your phone. Some of you that were there Tuesday may have already done this homework. If you did, then you can just add to it. So Jennifer said we need to start a note in our phone. So snag your notes. Start a list of how Plexus business in particular, but you can include products too, has blessed your life. And that, like, continuing to add to that. So basically directing your brain to start thinking about that. And also the fact that, you know, sorry, I totally lost my train of thought. Directing our brain to think about how Plexus has helped our life. And it doesn't have to be huge momentous things. It can be, but it can also be things that are going to resonate with people that you talk to. And it's going to make it easier to talk about it in your posts, in your stories, in your lives, in the day-to-day, when you have been thinking about that and you've kind of kept a catalog of what those things are. So I want everyone to pop down a few things in the notes in your phone real quick of how Plexus has blessed your life. So take a hot second to do that. Remember, and I think this ties into like sharing the tangible things, like of what your Plexus business provides for you. Because it could be like the freedom to go get a pedicure. I mean, if that's important to you or whatever. And I remember Carissa saying that it really caught her attention when she saw Jessica Heffley went and did that. She's like, because that is such a luxury. I think she and Chris were on such a very, very tight budget when they first got married. She was like, oh my word, like her business, you know, provided, and she was able to go do that fun thing and not have to take funds from like the family budget, you know? Okay. Here's a question Jennifer asked that I thought That is so good. Are you sharing this business every single day? She did ask the room for a raise of hands if people were doing that. And no one raised their hands. So I would go out on a limb and say we all need to get better at that. And this ties into actually something that I was just listening and hearing Marianne say. She said that when she was training at Jewel School, she was a newly ranked Sapphire, but not holding. And she's like, I didn't let that hold me back. And she goes, I did not hold Sapphire rank for 18 months. And she goes, I was at Jewel School, and I thought she said it was that either that month or the week she was there, she recruited Jen Cobb. And she goes, Jen Cobb did not know until, until Jen went diamond and they were talking about it, that when Marianne recruited her, she was not ranking Sapphire. So I just want to remind you guys to like take out any sort of shame of where your points are or where you feel like you should be or whatever. Like that is irrelevant because we're looking for the new and the few. And what Marianne said is the pendulum will swing. She goes, I believe, that's what she said. And it stems from our belief. I believe the pendulum will swing again if I am doing the right things. The formula is the new and the few. And she's like, your business will get off balance if you're not, proceeding with enthusiasm and also the new and the few. Because she goes, if it's been like 4 months since I brought in a new builder, she goes, that's my little awareness, like, oh, no wonder things are kind of just like, meh, right? And so I just want to remind us all of that. And she's like, the sky isn't falling. You got to get your mind right. You got to show up and work. And she goes, if you have a good mindset and a good work ethic, you'll move forward and create the momentum and achieve the goals that you want to achieve. So I thought that was just really good advice and really encouraging. And she also said, so this was a Jewel call that I was listening to. I'm going to listen through the whole thing before I mention any of you guys listening to it, because I just want to hear it first. But there were some really good nuggets that I've been taking away, sharing with you. But she said, I want to invite all of you, and so I will invite all of you guys that are listening to this to a renewal and rebirth. And that's kind of like the whole idea of these accountability calls, is to like rebuild. Let's just rebuild. And newsflash, welcome to network marketing. This is what you will continue to do. It's the process of building and rebuilding, building and rebuilding. And you can't get caught in the weeds of like, oh, where I should be. Well, maybe your points aren't where you want them to be because you just lost a gold ambassador, or you just a ruby of yours just decided to, take a hike or whatever. There can be things outside of our control that happen. And so it's the process. Like it is the process of building and rebuilding. And so they were inviting and encouraging everyone to pour love into your business and to steward it well. And that's what Amber said. She's like, a couple years ago, I was just like, why build if I don't have to? Right? Because her mom is under her, Lori Bradford, and has like the dynasty of Plexus. And so Amber is like, kind of like in her mind, why do I need to build this? Why should I keep building it? And she goes, I think it goes back to the scriptural principle about stewarding things well and the talents, that parable of the talents. Are we going to bury it in the sand? Or are we going to build it? Because there's people out there that need what we have, need the community, need the products, need the business opportunity. And she goes, and it has to come from an inward conviction. And so anyway, she was just encouraging everyone that was listening to that call to fall in love with the process, clear out the shame, make room for joy. And then she gave the idea or the story of an Olympic athlete that wasn't really supposed to be an Olympic athlete, but the girl started writing down her goals every single day. And she had notebooks of her goals written down every single day. I thought that was super significant. And Amber said, I'm thinking 5 years out, 5 years from now. And so I just think, it goes along with what we've been sharing about with goal setting and stuff. After the event, so here's the way my brain thinks. I don't know if you can see it, but I did a whole debrief after that event we hosted of things that we could do better. And so regardless of what season of, you are in currently with your business, always be taking inventory. When you host an event, do a little debrief, a written. So the morning after the event, I was up super early and I just brain dumped. And then I went on with my day and I still need to like massage this a little bit and think through it a little bit more. But I also messaged every level 1 leader that was at that event. So these are little ideas that you can take and implement in your business too, as you host events and things like that. Just to find out like what their takeaways were, if they've scheduled, I mean, some of you know, because I sent the messages to you too. But anyways, I was thinking about some specific people, kind of like what Amber was saying, you get a little graphic of everyone's faces. Well, when we're in person at an event, I start thinking like, oh, my brain goes to so-and-so's business and so-and-so's business and so-and-so's business. And I either have questions or I have thoughts of like, what if you tried this? Or, hey, I wonder, just asking questions or giving ideas. So one of the thoughts that came to my brain, and I don't even remember what the context was, but I wrote this down. This is my question to you. If I had your network, I said this to Jennifer. Jennifer and I and Justin chatted on the porch for a long time. She had a very short night that night, but I was chatting with her. Okay, so if I had your network, could I find the product users in your network? Could I find the business builders in your network? I have such high belief. Personally, this is me. I personally believe if I had your network with the people that you currently know, that I could find who those people are and recruit them into Plexus. That may sound crazy, but I think it's because I have such belief in what we do, in the products, in the business, and motivation to actually go and do like you. And so I just wrote down you, me, we have to have the desire, the drive, the willingness, and the belief to work as a networker and show up in a big way on social media and attract what you want. So that's probably, that maybe neither here nor there, but I was just thinking, wow, like who could we find? Who could I find? Right. So I just want to encourage you to step into like those leader shoes, your version, the leadership version of you that's like a notch higher, and step into your business like a professional. It's like what Brandy was saying, but like connecting with your network, talking the business, talking the products with the people in your life, in your circle. And then one thing I thought was really important that what Jennifer was saying is to be a professional friend maker. And I was going to show you guys here it is. This IPA sheet that we're all working from. One of the big sections on there is actually adding friends daily. And there's the checklist part of this where you're just checking a list to like say you got it done. But then there's the actual, I am doing the work, I'm emotionally invested, I'm pouring love into all this, where you're like making friends every single place that you go and connecting on social media. That's going to build into your business down the road. So I just wanted to remind everybody like the professional friendship maker, and then swing back into those conversations. I can't tell you how many times I've messaged this girl that I met in I think it was Punta Cana. Yeah, she's from Tennessee, has 2 little kids. We connected when we were down there. I've messaged her so many times, and finally she messaged me back. She's like, I'm not interested in your business, but I'm actually interested in your products. Can you send me information? So just as an encouragement, even if you feel like you're following up multiple times, you just never know when you're going to catch them on a good day, or they happen to see their message, right? They might not be people that like message or check their messenger that often. So anyways, just a quick reminder there. What time is it? Okay. I wanted to leave space for anyone else. Becky and Melody, I know you guys just had an event. Do you guys want to, oops, maybe Melody popped off, but Becky, do you want to unmute and share a little bit about how you felt like your event went?
Hey, sorry.
Hello.
I'm in the car waiting on some boys to come out.
Same.
Hi, everybody. I thought it went really, really well. And Melody had a lot of good things to say about it. It was really sweet to spend that time with her, that I don't get to spend much time with her anywhere else. So it's really grateful that she came all the way down from Ohio to share with us. And so most of the people that came were already in Plexus and sharing, but there were 2 people that did come and they ended up joining. And one is looking to do the business. So that was really exciting. and there were some disappointments too with this. But I think it turned out exactly how it was supposed to go. So, yeah.
Is there anything that you'll do differently for next time?
Yes, definitely get the word out even more. And that's, you always think you have time to send messages, but then you start really trying to promote something. I always feel like I run out of time on that part. So message like crazy, let people know about it, go live more about it. Something I've realized is that when I go live, more people see your post. And y'all know that I have like avoided going live for like 5 years. So, yeah, definitely.
I love that. Brandy and I have been talking about that too. The need for more promotion, and also how much we have to teach our teams about what to do and say, because a lot of people show up to events and don't invite anyone. They think one post about mocktails and moisturizers and people are going to show up, and that is simply not the case. Brandy hosted a personal event in a neighboring community, and she sent like, I don't know, 75, she could probably unmute and say, so many messages. And she ended up getting like 3 signups from it. People didn't come to the event, but they ended up signing up afterwards. But it just goes to show you how many invites it takes. And I think, Brecky, you were talking to a network marketer, not in Plexus, but just when she hosts an in-person event, her goal is at least 100 invites. And it's different when we're hosting like sip and seas for people, because it's their warm market. But a lot of us are still are working on building a new warm market. And so we're kind of in that next layer, 3rd or 4th layer of network, where it takes a lot more. And I think also we're in a busy season, raising our kids and all of that. So we're probably connected with a lot of people in the same season. And so different things impact it. I didn't know it was first day back to school. Brandy just hosted an event, and in the town she hosted it in yesterday, it was first day back to school last night, or parent teacher orientation. So there's always probably things, but it also goes back to why it's important to continue to host the in-person. And I was talking to Eric Worre, and it was really interesting. He just did a big network marketing event in India, and he said there is over 8,000 people at this event, I think there's more than that at the event, but there was like 8,000 people that were making 6 figures or more. And he's like, they weren't flashy, professional looking people. They were like the ordinary people. And he goes, I go back to the fact that in person trumps everything. And it's the in-person stuff that makes such an impact. And so, all that to say, my thought with these events, because I know Angie just hosted one, Becky just hosted one, I just hosted one, and then Brandy and Lisa, and probably more of you, are branching out and doing like sister events from this mother event that we all hosted. So I just want to encourage you guys, as we move into like Leaders Retreat contest and all of that, like be thinking of what that looks like for you, your network. I mean, maybe you're in a season where it looks like more online stuff, or if you've never done in person, try doing some. Or if you've done some in person and you're just like, wow, my network like does not show up to in person, then my thought is, well, try something different. Like, have you ever done Zoom sip and seas? Have you ever, gone and just asked, instead of maybe hosting a party for yourself, host 4 people on your team, even if they're just consistent product users. So just always keeping your brain on, what's the next thing I could do? What's the next creative thing that I could initiate that can spark something? I did a little debrief. I'll just share it real fast for whoever wants to hear what I had written down. Number one thing, we talked way too long on our story, in my opinion. We should have shortened our story. I felt like we rambled on for way too long. That was just a side tangent mention for us. We hands down needed more promotion, especially for a really big event. I felt like I could have explained it better to my local ambassadors, because there was multiple people that were not at convention. And one of the reasons I had scheduled this like from convention was like 6 weeks ahead of time, 7 weeks out. I was just like, there was so many people that didn't come to convention. This is convenient. They don't have to go to Dallas or Las Vegas. They can just come to my house. And then a bunch of those people didn't even come to my house. But I think if I would have explained and maybe had a little bit more of a back and forth conversation ahead of time, so like bumping the timeline out way far in advance, like, hey, save the date, but then a follow-up, a voice message, hey, here's my thoughts behind this event. And I think just asking them, would you really, really, really work to be here in person that night? Because I think the more we work on getting butts and seats, the better off our events are going to go. And it takes a lot of work on the back end from all of us that are hosting, right? Because we're not just like trying to get people there. We're also like in charge of the food and in charge of like the logistics. And if you're having it in your house, you're like cleaning your house and going to Costco and all the things, right? So yeah, personal invites, asking for attendance early on. More promotion for potentials. I just felt like I didn't have enough time to actually get through all of my network that was within driving distance. I think also the schedule leading up to the event, like have a 1 month out, save the date, and then kind of chunk it down, each week from there. Way more buy-in from leaders to heavily promote. And I'm not saying we didn't promote it enough, but I think we could have promoted it more is my point. It myself included, like when we're hosting, I think there should be multiple Facebook posts, multiple stories, and lives. Lives like, hey friends, I just wanted to pop on, and invite that way. Cause yeah, different people see it at different times. And I think it also changes up our algorithms more and more people see. The week before, work through, which I did this, but we hit the local current and past customers. We hit that list several times. I should have ahead of time made a master list of potentials because I kept thinking of different people like, oh, what about them? And what about them? Even like the question of who of my friends live in Illinois and start contacting. So yeah, I ran out of time for invites. I was heavy on customer invites. And so I'm just thinking of sending out a little message, a follow-up message to each of those people, which I should have gotten done by now, but I haven't. But if I send a message out and just be like, hey, if I hosted a little mocktails and moisturizer skin health night, would you be willing or would you be interested in coming? So almost to get their buy-in where I could kind of schedule it around like the couple of people that said, oh, sure, yeah, I'm available Tuesday, and kind of schedule it that way. Because sometimes I think I just pick an arbitrary date and then I'm kind of like trying to gather who could come versus working from the other side and be like, okay, Jenny, Micah, and Sally can all come Tuesday night. I know for sure that they're going to come, and then gather up whoever else can come that night too. So just a little bit of different way to think about it. I need 1 to 2 days before, for like 48 hours or even more to follow up on invites that I've already sent. And not shopping the day before, but actually 2 days before, if at all possible, so that the day before I'm home and can be sending invites and just puttering around the house, working on the setup and whatever I'm going to do, right? Invites 24 hours before, reminders, last minute invites are a lot of times really helpful and really good because if you invite them too early, then they're going to forget by the time the event actually happens. Carve out time the day of to send texts and check the texts and last minute follow-ups. And then after the event, so this applies to all of us because I think all of us have had events recently. Individually thank people for coming. So if you haven't done that with people that came to your event, do that. Ask them for takeaways. And then people who couldn't come, reach out and set a date for like an open house or a sister event. I kind of talked about that. Zooms, FaceTimes, like it doesn't have to look like the same type of event you just hosted where you're trying to like gather a bunch of people and, do another sip and see. Just do individuals if you have to, like Zooms, FaceTimes, coffee shops, meet up at coffee shops, or just have conversations. Because like my neighbors right down the road are very interested in Plexus. They just couldn't come that night. And so I'm like, well, I'll just figure out a time that they can just pop over, even if it's kind of more of a like it, they just pop over and it's super informal. And then lastly, go back through your notes because you guys all took notes and I'm sure whoever else hosted has notes, and turn those into posts, team page posts or little quotes to pop into your customer or business builder chats, team page, I say team page, and your personal posts, or go live on your stories, talk about the event, go live on your Facebook wall, talk about the event and why you love personal growth so much, why you love this business so much. And you're sharing takeaways and things. Because anyone that's listening to that, even though you're talking about your business, if they have a business or just something in their life where they're in a leadership role, they're automatically going to take away value from what you're talking about, you know? So, all right. Thoughts, questions, ideas? Yes, Gretchen, pop in with encouragement. Sorry, I was talking so much, I didn't see that.
No, no, totally fine. Becky, I just wanted to encourage you because I had an event, one particular event I'm thinking of a number of years ago. Actually, Megan and Justin came up north of Chicago and did it with me. And we did not have a single new prospect that came. It was all people who were already on the products, but those people all became my leaders over the next couple of years.
Mhm.
They all stuck with the products. As far as I can remember, they are all still with me. And this was a number of years ago. And most of them went on to work the business. So just know whatever efforts you make, they're never wasted. It's always planting more seeds of belief. It's always encouraging people. It's always building you as a leader and giving you more experience and so forth. I figure, it's always working. Even if you put on something and nobody comes, there are things that you glean out of going through the efforts and learning from that experience. So just wanted to share that little encouragement with you.
So good. Oh my goodness, so good. Got a minute. Anybody else have a thought, question, something that you want to chime in? Takeaway?
So I know that I already had the floor, but I did want to mention, oh wait, hold on. The soccer coach is coming to talk to me.
Yeah, let's cool down this evening.
I'll leave it with you guys.
Nice to read.
That's funny. There was a guy that I thought he was coming to my van and to talk to me. He was getting in his car though. Okay, so homework, Brandy might be done in a second, but homework wise, let's talk about this. So we're really working on going back through the Eric calls because there's so many takeaways in those. So Eric video number 3. And if you didn't get through all of those Star Diamond Rising calls, don't ever do chores around the house or jockey your kids' places or sit, out of practice without having at least one earbud in. Giving yourself some motivation and some food. She almost done. Okay. Anyways, yeah, so be listening to those, re-listening back through. The IPA sheets.
Megan,
Yeah.
how do we get the Eric videos? Because in the app, it keeps access is denied. And when I talked to Lisa, she couldn't get them either. And when I go back to try to find them, like email, like the recording, that doesn't work either. If it's just a glitch.
If you registered, you would have received an email the next day of the recording. Have you tried?
Yeah, it's just not letting you access it. I don't know if the app is just glitching out today or what, but it's not.
Anyone else had trouble?
I think Lisa did, but I don't know if anybody else had.
I've had trouble just getting into the app. I'll sign in multiple times and sometimes it'll eventually let me in and sometimes it won't. Once I've gotten in, I can find them because it's under icon and then I think resources, but I have a hard time having it get me into the app, which is weird.
Okay. Well, I'll ask, but in the meantime, you could go listen to the Star Diamonds Rising ones. Those are so good. Should go back. Brandy, are you back?
Yeah, sorry. He was at my window and I needed him because we're leaving for 2 weeks. And I think the coach
Yeah.
should probably know that. Okay, so something that I had this like epiphany of whenever we were trying to get people to help invite to these, like, I feel like you can say all the right things, do all the right things, be like, okay, we're going to have this event. Like, I've had people ask me to do events in certain areas. And then when push comes to shove, they don't actually send out invites. They just put it out on their Facebook wall, pop it in their stories, and they're like, yeah, I let people know about it. So I had this analogy of like, okay, if you were getting ready to have a birthday party, would you just like make an invite and then put it on Facebook and hope that your family and friends see it? Or would you intentionally send it to them? So I am going to try to do like a team training with my people. If anybody has any advice or tips or we don't have to do it now, but if you have any help for how you're getting your people to send out invites, please send them my way, because I feel like I will challenge them like, okay, go invite 10 people right now. Like, go invite 10 people. And like, then I see it on their stories. And I'm like, that doesn't count, So if anybody has any tips on how I can better train my team on that, I also may just have a team of people who don't like in-person events. I don't know. I cannot figure it out. But I did have that like, okay, if you were getting ready to have a birthday party, how would you invite them? If you would not just put it on Facebook, like you would send an invite. And something else from that. Okay, Megan, I invited 92 people to that Marshall event.
92,
3 people
okay.
showed up, 3 people. But what I did, you guys, I actually made an event on Facebook so I can see every single person that I invented, which has made my follow-ups much easier. I could see who was interested, who didn't show up, that said they were going to, like all of those things. But I don't encourage my team to do this because I'm afraid they'll put together this event and then just invite people and once again not send them a message saying that they invited them to something. So there's like that tricky. Anyway, I don't want to take up everyone's time, but if you have help on that side of the event thing, man, I can host events all day long. I can invite people, but I got to get my team to do the same. So I
Right.
just need a little bit of help there.
So good. Okay, well, we'll brainstorm in our chat. One quick thought is it's probably attached to a fear, the reason why they're not doing it. Either a fear or a lack of skill and just knowledge. So I think helping them understand like, well, this is the work and this is what we're supposed to do, and then giving them the exact verbiage of what you're sending so that they can duplicate it to make it really simple for them. Okay, really quick. Everyone is working on popping their IPA sheets in the chat every day. Social media audits, you all did that. So then what I want you to do is to figure out what your pivots are so you can get better, just a 1% better this week. I would say pre-decide how often you want to be posting. My recommendation is at least 2 posts a day. Better if you can do 3 or 4, but minimum 2 posts a day. And if you have to, set a phone alarm so that you remember, oh yeah, so you can get yourself in the routine of like first thing in the morning or after you do your morning routine, I'm going to make a post. And then, maybe at between 7 and 8 at night or 9 and 10, whatever time, you set your alarm again so you don't forget to get that other post up. And you can pre-think the content or use something from Rally Chat or use an old post that you repurpose. There's lots of ideas there. Launch into personal events. We talked about that. Creating the note in your phone and continuing to add to that list of how Plexus has blessed your life. And then going to Jennifer's homework of share the business every single day. We've got to be doing that if we expect to recruit, the few business builders. And then last, this is actually the most important thing I want to say with homework is get people on the call tonight. Invite your new people, even if they have no clue about what tonight is about. It's our weekly accountability call as a team. And I really want to get people on board for the new calls because accountability is so key. And I was actually reading, Benjamin has a writing curriculum and we were just going through there's a little blurb about good character, and accountability is so important. I felt really convicted as I was reading through these different character qualities, but I thought this was so good. It says an accountable person accepts responsibility. He or she follows through on promises. An accountable person accepts criticism and listens to others' suggestion. A person with the character trait of accountability views both success and failure in a reasonable way. And I was just thinking, well, that's why we're hosting these accountability calls, is so that we can grow together, learn together, be coachable with each other. And we all do better with accountability. It's kind of like, I was on the way over thinking of an analogy. Homeschooling back in the day when we had like barely any resources and there was very little available. Now there's like, I was on a orientation yesterday for my kids' science. And I'm like, what a beautiful thing to have accountability, to have like an online course that they can be part of. They're still homeschooled, but they get to be part of courses that are like really, really beautiful and add accountability into their education. And I was just thinking back in the day, we didn't have much. Same with Plexus. Like we didn't have this type of community and this culture, and we don't have to be working alone in a corner by ourselves anymore, like how I was when I was homeschooled. We can actually be part of a vibrant, growing community and, ping pong off each other with ideas and best practices and things like that. So just anyways, encourage your teams to be on tonight at 7. I will see you then. Thank you guys for being on. I just love our chats on Tuesdays. So thank you. And we'll just, keep sharing ideas and thoughts in our Ruby chat, and message Brandy too if you have ideas for helping people get to the calls. All right, see you guys soon. Bye.